Evening, everybody. It's Wednesday night. I didn't say Tuesday this time. It's 9:05 p.m. Thank you for staying on the Superstation towards the end of that big Sanford and Son marathon. But it's time for What's on Joe Mind. We are a fan cast about the world of G.I. Joe. I'm your host, Mike Irizarry. How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
Good to be here.
Right.
Doing good.
This is where the generic banter happens.
We're out of practice.
Yeah.
Well, Jess and I apparently on the same channel right now.
Right. I mean, I was kind of hoping Rob would lead you into that one, but no, silence from Racktime Rob. Every week. Silence.
You know where I've been.
But this is our big 14th anniversary Arbor Day spectacular. As you know, Arbor Day is always a big day around here. Us here at What's on Joe Mind.
Randomest of random jokes,
right? look, man. When your founding day is April 25th, Arbor Day is as good as anything else. So, and then when who was it?
Larry.
Shannon Gallant did the Larry Hama impression.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, which then drilled Arbor Day into running gag Hall of Fame. But anyways, it'll be 14 years on April 25th. So this is technically not the day. We're going a little early, but I'm not scheduling a Friday night. Nobody wants to come into work on a Friday night.
I would not be here for this
night?
Friday night. I'm telling you that right now. Mike.
What are you doing on Friday night?
Friday night is bullcrap. Actually, I'm probably not doing anything on Friday night. Yeah, no, I'm thinking this week. I've got plans tomorrow night on Thursday night, but I do not have plans on Friday night. So yeah, whatever.
When I was in college, all those many years ago, my weekends always started on Thursday night.
Right, but
too old for that these days.
But even if it was Friday night, like we could do a show on Friday night in our college days, go from 9 to 11, and then get in a solid 5 or 6 hours or whatever it is we're going to do after that.
There you go.
Because that's what you do when you're 22 or younger.
So long ago, it was still a 6-day work week.
Yeah. now it gives me hives to think about being awake that long.
Yeah. So long ago, Lincoln's baby picture was on the 5.
Yeah. Like it's weird because I can still stay up that long, but I really hate it.
Oh yeah.
Like there's no joy in it anymore. There's no pride in it anymore. It's usually like if I have to be up. Yeah, if I have to be up for more than 20 hours, something has gone horribly wrong.
Absolutely.
The regret comes with drinking.
Joe ARAH says no tornadoes on a Friday night. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The last time I was up that many hours was probably the CrowdStrike incident a little while ago, which probably don't want to revisit on this podcast. But I don't know if that touched Gary or not. But
no, it didn't. But my wife's now in IT, and it actually got her company. Yeah. So, and were you recording when the tornadoes rolled through Carmel?
Yes, we were.
Yes,
I was recording too. Debbie comes in here, taps my shoulder. Now we don't have cameras in here when I do my thing, and she taps me. She's like, "We're tornado warned." I'm like, "Okay, when the power goes out, I guess I stop." It
was, like the TV. I'm sitting in the big room, the den, if you will, the family room. The TV is right over here. So we would be going through our segments. It was me and Rob, and Troy McKee was with us. And like there'd be a discussion, and then you just kind of see me turn my head over to the right, and I would stop. And Troy and Rob would keep talking, and I'd just be kind of like,
that didn't touch down too far from you. It's 7 miles south of me where it touched down.
Right,
so
right.
It would be within 2 miles of you or so.
We're pretty close to you. It touched down on the very northern border of Indianapolis. So there's still there's a good deal of distance. Right. I don't like to talk about our exact location here on the show, but there's a whole town in between where it was and where we are. but because again, we're pretty close. We're closer to you than we were to it.
You don't
But
have
that doesn't mean it wasn't close.
It got into the ballpark of where we used to live when we
tornadoes
first
just
moved
smack a side of a mountain in Vermont and they stop. That's what happens in Vermont.
Yeah, we don't see that a whole lot in this neck of the woods.
Well, I mean, all the bears go into the caves, and so mass transit just grinds to a halt.
Mass transit.
They just slap a saddle on a bear and ride wherever you need to ride.
That's old Enoch with his cart and buggy. That's mass transit in Vermont.
Enoch and Hezekiah.
He needs to move the lobster traps over to give everyone extra room.
It's like you take every state in New England and just kind of smash it all together. Yeah, I don't know the last time I saw a lobster trap here in the New Hampshire-Vermont border. It's about 100 miles east of me.
Enoch, Hezekiah, and Barry. That's what.
No lobster fishing on the 7 miles of New Hampshire coastline.
No, you don't even get hurricanes up that far north.
We do sometimes. We have gotten them in the past. Yeah, last place I worked at, actually, Hurricane Irene did some good damage, and I worked for a home healthcare agency back then. And we had nurses that were literally on helicopters flying to regional areas and dropping down, and others riding ATVs. And I was actually not really G.I. Joe conversation, sorry, but I remember I was driving into work at 6 o'clock that morning, so we were a little worried about, because we had the data center right there in the building, and there's a stream to the left, and the water is like up to the top of the ledge, and I'm like, oh shit, that gets up too much higher, then we're gonna have some data center problems. But thankfully,
it's just gonna cool things down. That's all it's gonna do.
It settled down a little bit, and even though I was parked in that data center for a few hours that morning, sweating it, everything ended up okay.
It's you say this isn't about G.I. Joe, but when has that ever stopped us before?
Fair point.
So I
you did a whole fantasy football podcast,
right? so long as we don't segue into fantasy football, things will be great.
To talk about fantasy football.
Hey,
I have to go to bed.
It's mock draft time,
Oh man, I'll be staying up for the draft as much as I can tomorrow night, I think. Right. Although we've only got the 4th pick, so I guess I don't have to stay up too late. But.
Yeah, no, I did. You're out early.
Yeah.
You're in for what? 45 minutes then?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I was thinking about this today. There's something wrong with my computer. The first Joe Con I went to was right after the Super Bowl that was in Indianapolis, between the Giants and the Patriots, and now those teams are picking 3rd and 4th.
I know. It's crazy.
There we go. We got your title now.
Oh, hey, look at that. Bear jockey. Bear jockey. And you know what's funny about the whole football connect? My daughter actually goes to Penn State now, and we're kind of watching to see where Abdul Carter falls, and it looks like he could fall to the Giants the Patriots kind of hope he falls past the Giants, but who knows?
Right. He's not getting past the 4th pick. That's for certain.
Yeah.
But to keep everybody in on what's going to become a running football gag tonight, I've prepared this ticker to run across the bottom of the screen. Keeping everyone abreast on the.
Can you give us what was the Super Bowl where they where the Patriots were playing the Falcons? Can you update that? Was again just say and second half.
Yeah,
Patriots score again. Second half, Patriots score again.
Yeah,
no. We don't
more
care
heartbreaking, but they don't take away from the others that
Falcons forget how to run ball and do another third now.
Super Bowl 42. The Giants
Seahawks
are up
forgot
17.
How to run the ball.
17-14 late, I understand. And then in Super Bowl 46, in another dimension, the Giants again up 21-17. And I hear that one is getting close to the end of the game as well.
Yeah, I don't recall either of those games. Sorry, I must have blacked out.
It's okay. We will let that run on the ticker for a while. Look, I had the option of getting the full visual flashcards. I passed on that. I didn't want to make you quite that uncomfortable.
He didn't want to spend real money on you, Justin.
I appreciate your restraint. Thank you.
No, it wasn't money. It was free. It was right there. I have them downloaded. Like, you know,
Okay.
The Eli Manning fathead was vintage and therefore too expensive.
I got the banners. I don't need to throw the graphics up at him.
We're gonna have Dad call in and mock, you know.
Right. Well, you're turning into a whole sports talk radio segment.
It's all right.
Talking about
the scabs have healed over the past.
Who do we have read the intro for the old podcast? And it says, "In the final score of the Super Bowl," and you're listening to What's on Joe Mind.
That was Neil Ross doing it as Shipwreck. As Shipwreck. Even better, in character.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I mean, can you beat that?
No.
Anyways. Jake Rose asking which G.I. Joe figure has the best helmet for the helmet catch. I think that's Gridiron, isn't it?
I don't know who else it could be.
Gotta be.
It's certainly not Mace.
No.
Yeah, I can't. Gridiron's the only real logical choice in my mind. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
Craig Cohan, happy anniversary and happy birthday, Shakespeare. So there you go, April 25th, April 23rd, 1564.
No,
so not
fine.
bad.
Somebody older than I am. That's impressive.
No fine writing going on tonight, and we have another noted author here. So,
I mean, he is only that's 4 years older than you. I mean, I wouldn't brag about that.
Hey, older is older. I'll take what I can get.
Take that, Sir Francis Bacon.
He knows what he did. Well, I figure we've wasted enough of America's time.
Good night, everybody.
It's time for the news. All right. On this side, that lagged very much. So I was sitting here going, please play news graphic. Please play.
It did.
Okay, that makes me feel a little better. It's almost like there's a tornado going overhead.
Nah, weather's been beautiful. But anyway.
It's a good day today.
For now. Yeah. First news item. Come on, there we go. All right. Hey. The second single from the Cold Slither project that is being as a joint venture between RPM Records and Hasbro has dropped. It's called Knock 'em Dread. Because, you've gotten the classic out of the way, so let's go to puns.
It sounds like the name of someone's finisher.
Right?
By God, he hit him with Knock 'em Dread.
Sounds like a Warrant B-side. That's what it sounds like.
But then they'd shorten it up to KED, and then it would get out of control. So, anyways, this just happened. I believe it was yesterday. This one hit. So, head over to the links down below: coldslither.rpm.link/knock'emdread. And of course, the original single, the original and still the classic Cold Slither. The link for that one is below there. Justin Bell, you're a fan of all things metal.
I love that they're doing this. They're going all in on Cold Slither, and I think it's hilarious. It's I won't pretend to be be like, I'm not going to be rocking this out on my morning run or anything like that, but they're showing some creativity, and I'm digging it. I really love that they're going deep and actually creating new music for this. It's hilarious. I love it.
I'm sure it was just they found a bunch of unused songs in some desk that had been locked since the early 90s. It's like, oh, well, grunge has ruined all this. We're never going to use these songs. Let's
down in the radon-infested depths of the Hasbro basement.
Right, and then here in sometime late in the second half of 2024. Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Gary Gotso, what do you think? Have you had a chance to listen?
I'm listening to it right now. Dreadnoughts for life. I'm actually partied with Cold Slither, so this is nothing. I've partied with the real one before.
Right?
So, yeah. And,
right.
you know, if you can hang and party with that version of Cold Slither, and that's just really one individual, really,
right.
Then you lived the '80s lifestyle in the 2000s.
Absolutely.
I was in a bar in New Orleans with Zartan from Cold Slither.
Yeah.
And he passed out, and then one of the folks that worked at the restaurant walked over, blindingly drunk in his own right, looks at me, looks at Zartan, which was noted author James Kavanaugh, of course, looks back at me, and I just shrugged. I was like, whatever, man, it's a party. at which point he sat down at the empty chair at our table and passed out himself. So, I mean, what else can you ask for? Cold Slither memories.
Sounds like every JoeCon I've ever been to.
Right.
Those Saturday nights.
I think there is a James sleeping in inappropriate places story to be had from every JoeCon.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, going to his sales booth and seeing him in like a actual 3-piece suit on the floor, you know, behind his counter, fast asleep. I mean, that was an expectation. That was not a surprise.
Or behind your panel.
That too.
Yeah.
Or during your panel.
Yeah. During your panel.
We probably put more than James to sleep at our panels, but not at the one where we had Justin masks to hand out, though.
Oh, that was great.
So if you haven't sampled Knock 'em Dread yet, head over again, coldslither.rpm.link/Knock 'em Dread. Get that done. You can stream, you can watch the video, you can purchase it for yourself. It's all right there at the link. So one-stop shopping from RPM and Hasbro. Matt Mullen says, good to see the old gang back again. Was always entertaining while I was driving over the road. Well, excellent. Thank you. We're glad to have you, Matt.
Driving over the road's better than driving off the road, I suppose.
Yep.
Right? Right? There was a joke there that I couldn't quite get my fingers around. But Gary got me.
I remember when I got my car and it had my first you could attach your phone Bluetooth. And the first time I remember hearing us over the car stereo, the car radio, I was like, and this was maybe 2 or 3. I can't really remember. We're into it a ways, and we're starting to get a polished product. And we're just like, you know, you kind of actually sound like you know what you're doing. You actually kind of sound like a morning zoo talk show type thing going on. And that at that point, then it's like I need to think about another hobby.
What has my life become?
Livingstones asks, is it likely that these are AI produced, or are there musicians and such? I would say that there are musicians and such. I would say also that it is pretty heavily produced. You know, there's a lot of, I think a lot of work is being done to kind of flesh things out, make it sound bigger than what it is. But
I will say RPM is an actual sort of label with actual musicians involved.
Yeah.
So it certainly is. There is some musical stuff there, but yeah, you're right. I don't know what they've done to sort of, you know, make it the polished product, but there certainly are musicians involved in there.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't necessarily need a full band anymore with technology to. I mean, we're not talking about AI. I mean, you could still someone could do a full-on rock song with just himself and a copy of GarageBand on Apple.
Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, what you could do if you're talented with software is pretty good these days. So I wouldn't think they would have to hire out an entire band to do. It'd be cool if they did, but it's also Hasbro having to spend money. So we know that's not happening either. So,
yeah.
But I'm watching it right now. It's definitely entertaining.
Yeah, it's the videos. I don't know what to tell you. But the music definitely. Like Justin said, RPM's a label. They have musicians that are just under contract. They don't necessarily put out albums of their own. They're just there to play for other people's albums. So,
who were the 7 people that gave a thumbs down to this? You guys suck.
What, to us or to Cold Slither?
They are
the Cold Slither.
Oh,
This deserves thumbs down.
They're the surviving members
thumbs
of
up.
the,
I see
the new
2 thumbs
Christine
up. Come
School.
on, people. How many people are watching? 46. There should be at least 46 thumbs up here.
You
Come
would
on,
think.
smash the thumbs up button. Like,
Right?
share, subscribe. Come on. Like Spike. Come on now. Hit the button. It ain't gonna hurt you. Subscribe to the channel. It's free.
It's quick.
Yeah.
It's easy. If you want to spend money on it, you can.
Every night of the week.
And I once got feedback from that called me too aggressive about pushing the YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Clearly, they've never listened to a Gary Godso broadcast.
Every night, at least twice a night. You got to tell them. They never do it. And then if they don't do it, what you do is you go into analytics and you take a screenshot of, how 6 out of every 10 viewers are not subscribers. Come on now. You keep throwing that down their throat for like, fine, I'll subscribe.
We do a real good job with repeat business, but it is about 30%.
Hey, you're doing pretty good. 1.4 subscribers. Nice. Good job.
And if you're catching us on the Facebook, make sure you're giving us some kind of a reaction there too, whether it's a thumbs up or a heart or a little huggy guy. We love little huggy guy.
Okay, Dad.
Look, man, say what you will, but it's the only social media where we have traction, even though it tries to bury us. So what can I tell you? Michael Mercy, friend of the program, happy anniversary. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
The Hawk, Terry Hawkins, checking in. Good evening, gentlemen.
Where's the latest Terry Hawkins calendar?
Good question. Good question. I try not to question Terry Hawkins too much because he may have a folksy answer like out of the back of a 1960s country song that I might be afraid to hear. Johnny T16 says, just listen to the song. The guitars are pretty killer. Rest of the song, not so much. Well, good. It's good, though, because it's guitars that they're trying to sell you.
Yeah.
Firefly says, Cold Slither on the Sunbow episode wasn't really metal. It was more glam rock, I thought. Yeah, but back then, that was metal.
Yeah.
Glam rock is a label that we've applied since to differentiate it from harder stuff.
Big hair, hairspray. Yeah.
Right?
Very decent.
Steel Panther.
Check that out. Next news item. Hey, this too was available starting yesterday. But Stylin' Boxes has revealed G.I. Joe Mystery Box version 2. You can order tonight and have it before the end of the month. Just $66 each, $5 flat rate shipping. If you buy one Stylin' box, it's $5. If you buy 100 Stylin' boxes, it's $5. So there you go. You get 5 to 8 officially licensed original G.I. Joe inspired pieces. These are items that are made specifically for the Stylin' boxes. What are they? I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
You're obligated to buy one and find out, Mike. You got to do an unboxing on the channel.
You can write it off.
The Stylin' box people have my contact information. If they would like to set up some kind of advertising shill deal, I am here for them. I am listening. I have a Rack Time Rob that will open boxes.
He will show your box on every show.
That's right.
Right.
Diana Davis chiming in with pieces of what? I want the whole thing. Rim shot. I think we have a rim shot effect here. Hang on. I got to go all the way down to the bottom of my buttons.
It was on the old show.
It's the same one.
Good.
It's the same one.
For old time's sake, do you have a? Go ahead and play it again. Play it again. I was talking. There you go. For old time's sake, do you have a butthurt?
Do I have butthurt?
Butthurt.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. All right, beautiful.
Justin is remembered for nothing else.
If I die tomorrow, I'll be a happy man for inspiring the butthurt horn. Yeah.
It's funny because before I announced all this as being what we were doing this week, there were people on last week's live chat that wanted to hear the butthurt snippet. So it's like, wait, that time's gonna come. It'll be here. Just be patient. But I mean, Justin, this seems like something a younger Justin Bell would buy.
I think you're right. I think the older Justin Bell realizes he has too much crap already, but I think the younger Justin Bell would be all over this.
And then give it 6.5 stars out of 5 on generaljoes.com.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh, he's got the Dave Meltzer skull. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm morbidly curious about what exactly is in there. You know, it's they've slapped G.I. Joe on just about everything you can think of. So I would be curious, like, what else is there that they could offer inside these $66 boxes that is not somehow available somewhere else? So maybe
right.
like a T-shirt, maybe a few things like that. I don't know. But
one of those items has to be a T-shirt or clothing of some kind, either a T-shirt or a hat.
Socks.
And then I'm sure there's a keychain.
Yeah.
So
dog tag. It looks like a dog tag. Yeah.
Right. There's 2 right out of the gate. So, you know, past that again, at least they're original, right? At least they're not giving you the bargain basement stuff from the clearance aisle.
Pogs.
Absolutely.
Joe Fan 84 says 3 more Snake Eyes figs. Look, man, I'd be tempted to plunk down my $66 for that.
Yeah, 3 Snake Eyes figures for $66.
Right.
Not bad.
Actual figures that would get me to buy pretty quickly. You know. Anyways, I'm sure that Style and Boxes does have those promotional deals with, shows that deal with toy guys. There aren't a whole lot of shows out there that are just G.I. Joe shows, so
that is true.
They don't like to pay much attention to us when it comes to handing out swag. They just like to be able to pick one place and send all their crap off to it. And I blame the people that don't hit the subscribe button.
Ooh.
Gary, go ahead and give them round 2.
Hey, every time you say subscribe now on YouTube, if you are not already subscribed to the channel, the subscribe button lights up at the bottom of the screen. For the person that's watching. So if we keep saying subscribe, it's going to light up the bottom of the subscribe button on their channel. Now, it doesn't do it in every browser. So I don't think it does it on Safari, but I think it does it on iOS. I'm pretty sure it does it on Chrome, but every time you say subscribe and you're not subscribed, it reminds you where the button is so you can click it. So subscribe. Otherwise, we're going to say it 4 or 5 more times and the button's just going to stay lit all night long.
And everybody will be having seizures like it's a Pokemon episode.
It's not crazy. It's not flashing that bad, but yeah.
Cooter's Garage asks, how is my favorite 2-bit slime show tonight? Arthritic and cranky.
Cooter. I just love the name Cooter.
Well,
50 years old and Cooter makes me giggle.
I'm sure the missus is pleased with that too. Jeff Butler says includes 1 bottle of Ode to Cobra. Joe ARAH says Cobra coin. Mach 5 Customs advises to wait 2 months and pick this up on clearance GameStop.
If they're still open by then.
Or Ross. Ross. That's the running joke. Pick it up at Ross.
Still. When I was living in St. Louis, when Toys R Us was open, there was a Toys R Us and a Ross in the same strip mall. So I would always wonder, rather than did they actually ship things out on a truck and then bring it back, or did they just walk it across?
Take it on a save on it.
Got a little conveyor belt in the back.
Did I hear there's a Toys R Us movie coming out?
I heard that. Yes.
Oh wow!
I have not heard anything about that.
I did hear about that. I don't know exactly what it's about, but
I don't know how they're going to pull that one off.
Is it like? Does it have Jeffrey the Giraffe or what?
It better have Jeffrey the Giraffe. Damn it!
Well, it's one of those horror spoofs, like Winnie the Pooh and stuff like that. Jeffrey's going to go on a killing spree of venture capitalists.
That's when it becomes public domain.
Yeah.
Toys R Us.
I'd be cheering Jeffrey on the whole way.
Oh,
are you kidding me?
Completely, yeah.
You kidding me? Firefly, better a 2-bit slime show than a 2-bit mime show, I always say. I doubt that,
Quick,
Firefly. I have never seen him say that before.
Mutus.
I bet this is where our crystal balls got to. Maybe.
Either that, they're being all held hostage in Ohio somewhere.
Yeah. The Gunny, Dennis Fleming, this is a golden 2-bit, soon to be 3-bit slime show. Look, man, this has been 14 years. If we're not up to 3 or 4 bits by now, it's probably not happening.
I mean, just natural inflation's got to take its course.
Yeah, you'd think.
You'll get upgraded to a 3-bit slime show because every time you put the graphic on the screen from chat, it goes over my face. So that's fine with me because I have the face for radio, and you're showing old man Justin there. You're not covering him up.
Nope.
He's the star of the show.
They know where the money's coming. Yeah.
That's right.
His gleaming white beard would just shine through whatever we put down there anyway. So, although if we did move Justin down to the bottom, it would be right there next to the ticker.
Hey, oh man,
right there. Ooh, look at it.
Hurts my heart.
Screen cap that one.
My name is even blocking out the Patriots logo on my rug back there. Jeez, it's a double whammy.
It's delicious. It's giving a flavor in my mouth.
I mean, Justin, you can always ask him though. What the score of the 2004 American League Championship game is.
That's
remember.
Very true. Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember the score of the game. I'm just saying that when you go to the league championship series every year, you're bound to be the team that loses 3-0.
The first one.
Go to the Super Bowl almost every year, and you're bound to lose a couple of those too. So,
right. But only the ones to the Giants. So
yeah, and the Eagles.
Well, the NFC East in general is kind of a pain in our ass. I guess.
It's just a bit of a soft area there. Just a bit of a.
The real Eastern Division, as opposed to the one the Patriots play in.
Right. Anyways, oh my God! All right, next news item.
Graphics back.
Okay, Gary's getting antsy up in the
like
third
the Brady
spot.
bunch. Hey, Josh,
Gary prefers it when I'm on top, I guess.
Right.
Hey, new age, new Justin, new Gary.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, the power bottom, Gary Godso. Pre-orders are open now for the Haya 8 Toys 1/18th scale exquisite bazooka. This is expected early next year. It's tough to say exactly what you'll be paying for any of this stuff, so that around $30, let's take that with a big pinch of salt.
Yeah.
But you can see there it's bazooka, right? It's bazooka based on the classified version, which was based on the original version. He still doesn't have any kind of shoulder straps for his backpack, but that's fine.
Velcro.
Right. It's just got to be at this point.
That's Steve Grogan. That's right. That's the Steve Grogan jersey.
Yeah, it's Grogan's jersey. Yeah.
He's got the removable helmet. He's got extra hands. He's got missiles that fit in the backpack and in the launcher.
Pre-lost missiles.
A little battle stand there. So it's. I mean, you knew what was coming with bazooka. It's these Haya Toys things are pretty well the same as what you're getting with the classified guys. Just maybe with an extra set of hands. But Gary, you bring back pre-lost. I think we're making pre-lost a thing.
It was a thing with low lights.
Well,
right, but
around.
Right, but I mean the term.
Opens that package up. Where? Oh, no, I can't find it.
Like the term, I believe is the pre-lost term is starting to pop up in other places.
Good.
And I know we haven't been directly. So I'm certainly giving you credit for that one.
Thank you.
When pre-lost is on, when people are wearing pre-lost brand t-shirts, then things will be interesting. But
walking into Disney World, my family, I'm pre-lost already. I'm like, oh, why am I here?
Here's a turkey
again?
That's not pre-lost, Gary. That's left behind.
Just why am I here?
Thing.
Exasperated.
That's a
Why is
different
this line so long? What do you mean it's $17 Pepsi?
So I am typically not a Hiya Toys collector. They're fine. They're good figures. I don't want to make it sound like it's a bad thing. I typically don't need to have. I'm already going in a lot of cases with the same design that I bought in the 80s and 90s to a 6-inch scale, and now I don't need to turn back around and buy it again in a 4-inch scale. So I don't have a ton of the 1/18th exquisite line. In fact, I have exactly one of the 1/18th exquisite line, and $5 to whoever guesses that first. But that's it. That's all I've got there. Justin Bell, are you picking these guys up?
I cherry picked it first. I got Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, and Cobra Commander. I don't think I've gotten any since then, and don't really have any on pre-order. They're good figures. I mean, they're pretty decent quality. But yeah, I mean, it's I have a bunch of modern era figures in that scale. I don't really feel like I was really gravitated towards the Storm Shadow because they actually used the original classified design with all the arm tattoos and kind of the tech armor on his gauntlets and stuff like that. So it was actually different than the classified version. So I did like that Storm Shadow, but many of them are, as you said, just smaller versions of the classified stuff. So not feeling especially compelled, especially because the price is pretty much the same as just buying a classified figure. Which I get. Highest got to make them in smaller quantities, so they're more expensive. I am impressed at how deep they're going already. I mean, it feels like they're already building out quite a bench of characters. But
right. There's been a lot of pre-orders for this thing.
Yeah,
that we haven't necessarily seen a ton of.
That's
for yet.
That's another thing. Yeah, you check out the pre-orders. There's about 2 pages of pre-orders, and I think maybe 4 or 5 that are actually released. So yeah, it does just kind of make you wonder when this stuff is coming and if they're going to beat Terror of Hell, which probably not, but we'll see.
Look, man, the important guys did.
Yes.
Anyways, Bart with a nod to the honcho. Look at that brutal chest cut. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it too, man. You'd figure here on the second pass that they would have tried to figure that one out, but what can you do? What can you do? All right, everybody's talking about mustaches in the live chat. So
yeah, there's a ripping mustache conversation going on. Greatest G.I. Joe mustache.
On a scale of 1 to 10 magnums, Gary Godso, what would you give Bazooka's mustache?
Oh, magnums! Wow, that is a pretty tight stash right there. A solid 9. I mean, you can't. A 10 is perfect. That's a perfect magnum, right?
Right. That would be Magnum.
Yeah, that's a pretty tight stash right there. So not bad. Not bad on the sculpt for the stash.
Justin Bell, same question.
Yeah, I'm thinking Gary's pretty close to the mark. I'd give it 8 or 9 myself. Yeah, I think they nailed that stash. That's it's looking pretty sharp. You don't see enough quality mustaches these days, so you got to appreciate them when you get them.
Rack time, Rob.
I'm going to go about an 8.
All right.
I think Ricondo's a 9, and of course, Magnum.
I mean, I don't know if Ricondo is 1 out of. I don't think Ricondo's a 9 on the Magnum scale. Ricondo's a 9 on the Raleigh Fingers scale.
Wow, not everybody can be Raleigh Fingers.
Right. Well, again, he's a 10 on the Raleigh Fingers scale. But so same question on Justin Bell's mustache, Gary Godso.
Well, it's a beard, right?
It's a beard. Yeah, it's just my hair's a little bit lighter here, so it looks like it could be a mustache. But
you can adjust for a minute.
We're not judging the beard, Gary.
I've given up on that. Judging. I'm embracing my baldness and my greenness. It's no need.
Just mustache, Gary. We're not judging his beard.
Oh, it's. I mean, it's Justin, man. It's gonna. There'll be other people that will write about it eventually.
The correct answer is 6.5 out of 5 stars.
There you go. I'll take
Correct
it.
answer.
All right.
Again, on the Meltzer scale.
An instant classic.
I will take it.
It's a mustache grown in the Tokyo Dome.
We can talk about WrestleMania tonight if you want to.
Oh, I'm sure we'll get there. We'll save that for the open time at the end.
Okay.
Next news item.
Do.
Believe me, there's not a ton of news to get through. We're at least halfway home.
We're about to see the kitty.
Right. Or we're not far. The kitty is in view. We hear the tank. But anyways, as we told you last week, After Action Report Command Files Volume 2 is coming your way. That is going to be on Kickstarter sometime around next week. Again, the date that Roger gave me was first of the month, but thereabouts. I think they firmed up a date, and I just haven't checked my email. But you can see there, that's what it looks like on Kickstarter right now. Red arrow is pointing to the button that you want to hit. Notify me on launch. And that way you can get this companion piece to Volume 1 of the Command Files by our good friends at After Action Report. That's Josh and Roger and author Greg Augustin. Is Greg in the live chat tonight?
I haven't seen him click by, but it's possible he might be.
Right now that he's got book 2 on the way, he's too good for us.
Well, that's how it normally happens.
I'm gonna badmouth our guest for next week. How's that sound?
Has he received noted author status yet, or no?
No. It's noted author is just James. Like even Justin Bell,
semi-noted author,
was published author.
James is a whole other level.
Yeah, that's
published author. Or
he is unique unto himself.
If we wanted to be cruel about it, we could call Justin successful author.
Oh, wow. Violence is not the answer. Good God.
I'm a savage. I'll
let you tell him that.
When did this turn into the roast of Justin Bell tonight?
Dave McDonald is asking, what new Joe stuff was coming out when What's on Joe Mind started? I looked at the listing for the pilot episode earlier.
I believe it was the Adventure Team, wasn't it?
Damn.
Super Joe.
Oh, even better.
Super Joe and his disintegrating hands. No,
Sigma
it was
6 was still a thing at the time.
It was. You guys talked about. I think the biggest discussion was saved for the 25th anniversary Sky Striker.
Yeah, Sky Striker. Yeah.
As Gary, you were the only one here that was on that program, so it feels weird that I'm telling you what you talked about, but
it wouldn't be the first time someone reminded me of something I said. I get it every day.
Right. It's again, but I'm not even married to you. So. I mean, not anymore anyway.
Just a reminder, I'm on lockdown, so
I don't have the lockdown sound effect.
Oh.
I've tried to fish it out of an old episode, but I need to find a clean one, and it's my own fault because I'm usually talking through it. My bad.
Somewhere I might.
Well, it's not a surprise.
And I'm sure that gosh, who are my cohorts back then? That would have been
Greg and Redacted.
Greg would have probably would have got it, while his Redacted would have told us reasons why he wasn't going to get it.
Right. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Andrew Gauguin saying that I'm on brand tonight as well. It is it. Usually I'm picking fights with somebody. Michael Gene Fleming. I started listening to the old episodes a while ago. I remember one where Justin spent the entire episode putting stickers on the San Diego Comic-Con Transformers crossover Sky Striker.
That's awesome.
So they're
Still
not a step.
not a step stickers.
We cannot get away with that now because we're on camera. I can't multitask. I used to record episodes back then while I was like working on my Dio stories. Like I would be like with my camera, like taking
You were in
pictures
your
of
garage,
little
weren't
action
you?
figures in my garage. Yeah, nobody had any idea. I'd built this big, huge jungle set in my garage where I basically take a huge workbench and made a little pseudo sandbox and piled a bunch of dirt in it and put trees in it and made this whole thing. And yeah, I was doing all that while I was recording. Yeah,
they were all edited out. But what do you think, Justin? Huh?
What? Sorry.
What? Oh, what?
Yeah. Wait, you gotta get back to the microphone.
They were all edited out, by the way.
The best parts of those episodes were in the middle of the winter with my non-insulated garage, and it was like 20 degrees, and I'm in my gloves and my hat, and I'm taking pictures while I'm recording, and yeah, that was some commitment.
Dropping your vintage toys and watching them shatter.
Yeah, there was a reason why Justin was so moody at the end of those episodes. He was ready. Dude was cold. He wanted to go inside.
Yeah.
He heard the bears roaring in the hills. Crocodile Joel McMullen asking, is James Cavanaugh working on a classified book? Not to my knowledge. I believe James Cavanaugh is working on opening a bar.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's cool.
That is the last word I've had from James back in.
That should not shock a single soul watching this.
Not even a little.
I wish him luck. I wish him the best, but that should not shock a single soul that's listened to everything that we've done.
Right. Or anybody that has been to Southwestern Ohio. That's just, I mean, booze is not a bad sell down that way. Diana Davis says, I thought it was an ice cream parlor. I don't know the specifics. It may be both.
It's going to be a lot of rum raisin, let's say.
But I know there's a liquor license involved, so I'm pretty sure it's at least partially a bar. Anyways.
Bar/ice cream parlor.
Bart says, my wife has adopted the lockdown terminology a month before Christmas when she puts me on it so I don't buy the gift she's already gotten me. There you go.
That is very, very, very common for a lot of us now that developed a disposable income and could get what we wanted. And then the power of the internet makes it easier to find things. And like, I've always wanted to have the USS flag. And I'll just go out and buy it, right? And then all of a sudden, I was going to get you that, or yeah, that's very, very common, very common. I have been told many times by my wife and daughter that I am one of the hardest people to buy for, because if I want it, back in the day, I would just get it. Now I'm a little bit more in control. That's because I've been beat into submission. Yeah, I was very hard to buy for back in the day. Still am, I think.
Yeah. I just used to tell people to get me gift cards. Like just because
there's nothing wrong with gift cards. I think gift cards are great. And I was told by my sister of all people that it's not a couth thing to do, that you don't give gift cards. That's you got to go out and buy the gift. It's not polite just to give a gift card. I'm like, give me a gift card and then I'll go out and get what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's just because I think it's the people that say that they are the ones that, buy you something that's on sale. Like it's supposed to be $75, but they get it on sale for $30. So then they don't want to go out and spend $50 on a gift card. I think that's the rhythm to that.
They've beaten some old lady down on Black Friday to get the deal.
Now, Joe fans, what they'll do is they'll just buy you like 5 gift cards at Ross for less, right? And then they just, that's what you get. Hey, here's gift cards for Ross for less.
Livingstone says, if I bought Mike a Beachhead, he'd be like, I was looking for one of these. that is correct.
How'd you know?
That's probably true.
If I have often said, if you want to send me one, I'll take it. Goes in the collection. Like I don't spend my own money on really cruddy ones, but if you've got a beater of an action figure that you're just looking to give away, send it. Whatever, we'll take it.
How many figures have you had sent to you? How many Beachheads?
A few. Maybe 15 of them. Yeah, 12 to 15.
What about your favorite one, Justin?
What, hit and run?
Yeah. I know some people probably had to make some customs up and send them your way.
Yeah, I've gotten a handful of those that, some that actually, people put a lot of time and effort into. Yeah, I've gotten a few of those sent my way, and not just that, but I've gotten customs of other characters. The Whisper character from that Hasbro kind of fan vote thing. I've gotten a couple of those sent to me too. So yeah, there's some really great, thoughtful people out in the Joe community that do stuff like that. It's been pretty lucky.
What about 4 or 5 different versions of Snow Job sent my way? Yeah,
that's great.
I sent you the classified version.
Yeah.
The laziest of lazy bastard customs.
Right.
Somebody else made it.
Here it is, right out of the box. Next news item. Oh yeah, remember Roger and Greg will be on the program next week. That's how we're following up Gary and Justin. We're getting talent on the show.
As you should.
Good job.
Hey, Heavy Arbor Toys still selling their new figures on their website, hatoys.ecrater.com. I know Josh wanted to get the word out there that they are sold out on sailors, except for second class. You want a second class? You want second class seaman? It's there for you, but if you want first class seaman, you gotta wait.
Well,
also surprisingly, third class seaman and no class seaman.
Well, I have roomed with James Cavanaugh before, so.
Well, then you have second class seaman, and that is still available. But also still available. The Seabees and the Seals are still in stock. Sailors will be back in stock later, so don't let that throw you too bad. There's more coming, but coming. hatoys.ecrater.com.
What is fourth class seaman, like strudel?
There's a.
I try knocking. I setting him up, and I'm like, just knock it down, and he's like,
try not to get demonetized.
Right. It's one of those where I'm.
Hey, look, we're talking about people in the Navy.
It's a rank.
Yes. The algorithm picks up on that, and you guys have far more troubles than fourth class seaman.
See, Michael Gene Fleming hates to go, but he's considering that mystery box. So you better go to work in the morning. Or, I mean, you could pass on the mystery box and hang, but that's fine. The gunny will give you the highlights.
You can pass on the mystery box, for we will reveal what's behind door number 3.
So,
Justin, were you in on this one in the Kickstarter?
I actually did not get in on this one, but I've been pretty curious to try it out. I've dabbled in a few of the different O-ring offerings. I'm trying to dial down my Kickstarter a little bit. I get carried away because I pledge a little, and then I'm like, why don't I just pledge a few more? No, why don't I just go all in? And then suddenly every Kickstarter is hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and that just doesn't work out for me. So I am kind of stepping back from the Kickstarter game a little bit, but with some exceptions here and there. But between stuff like Delta 17 and these guys and a few other offerings, obviously the stuff from Skeletron and what I'm still awaiting eventually from Troy McKee and the crew over there, the great stuff they're producing. I mean, it's almost an O-ring. Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's an O-ring renaissance in a way. So I may have to give these a little check and see how they came out.
I give them a high endorsement. So
nice,
and a sober one. Gary Gatto, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Nah, I'm kind of not getting anything Joe wise. I'll pick and choose. I'm glad that these guys went through Kickstarter. They got funded, and they're out there for folks. But yeah, my kind of my Joe Kickstarter days. There's so many of them out there, and Justin's right, man. It's just you throw a little here and you throw a little there, and then all of a sudden, you're on lockdown. So
Right.
But I'm working on a whole other kind of sub career, kind of sub hobby now, since I've kind of left kind of GI Joe a little bit. I mean, I haven't left; I still have my collection, but I'm just not as I'm way not as active as I used to be. And when it comes to you talked about Tear of Hell, when you want a 50 series NVIDIA GPU, that's going to be close to $1,000 for your computer. That is more critical to me than getting some O-ring figures right now. So they look great, and congratulations, and I hope they sell a ton of them and make a lot of money. But I just they're kind of not in my budget anymore.
I mean, Gary, you could get a bunch of second-class seamen to spread around your flag.
Holy moly.
That's a picture.
It's a picture, all right.
That's a picture. That's a picture.
It's not a good picture.
No, not at all. No, not at all. I feel bad because Heavy Arbor Toys, it's again high quality work. I absolutely endorse these. I've got a few of them in a little plastic container with just out of arm's reach that way. But so absolutely go and check them out and maybe buy a couple and test them out and see if you want more after that. But we've I feel bad because we've just innuendoed this segment to death.
Not much has changed, huh, guys?
And it all started with poutine.
Yeah, there it did.
That it did. Next news item. Oh, we got some comics. I think I skipped one. There we go. Out today at your local comic shop, Skybound's got Silent Mission's Roadblock, written and drawn by Andrew Cranky, with colors by the venerable Francesco Segala. Again, that is available today. It is just over here. I am tapping the cover right now, but I have not read it because Ragtime Rob only came home like 2 hours before we got started, and I was still doing show prep. So forget all of you. Diana Davis asking what we thought about this issue. That's too much pressure, Diana. That's too much pressure. But,
I didn't get a chance to read this one yet either.
No, it's Justin Bell. You've been keeping up with the comics?
I have, yeah. I have not read the Roadblock issue yet. I am all caught up on the Skybound stuff so far, and I've read a couple of the other Silent issues. But Skybound's freaking killing it. I love what they're doing in this new G.I. Joe world. And I know Gary loves it because of the Transformers tie-ins, because that's his favorite thing for G.I. Joe and Transformers to play together. But yeah, I mean, the way they're kind of weaving in the Transformers lore and the Cobra La lore and still sticking to kind of the more straight, military look and feel. It's really, really awesome. I'm really loving what Skybound is doing, and I will definitely have to check out Roadblock very, very shortly because I do have it here in my office, but I've not checked it out yet, and I need to read the latest issue of Real American Hero as well. I haven't quite gotten caught up with that one either. But.
Fair enough. Gary Gotso, are you still buying the comics or no?
No. But this would be a no for me. I mean, no Transformers and then Cobra Law. That's 0 for 2 right there.
You don't know what you're missing, man.
This is comic continuity.
Yeah, the Silent Missions books are in Larry's continuity, which is still kept separate from.
Yeah.
The original Marvel run is continuing on in its own thread.
You could tell those that have Cobra Law and Transformers in the continuity there, they were cartoon kids of the 80s. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I've always said that the cartoon was the soundtrack of me reading the comics. I'm hearing Michael Bell when Duke is talking in the comic. That's so. I'm hearing Roadblock sans rhyming in the comic, versus what he did on the TV show. But the lineage and the storylines of the cartoon are just that. They don't mix with the comic and the Hamaverse, I guess, is that what we want to call it? That's kind of what I subscribed to and still subscribe to as well. And I'm an old man, and don't you dare ask me to change.
I think it's cool that they're doing them both. I mean, the Skybound is out there for some folks, and the Real American Hero universe is obviously still in.
Yeah, I like the fact that the little bit of everything's out there, so everybody can go out and grab something, even a hopping on point for some people. If they're like, hey, I kind of remember them back in the 80s. I'll just pull this off the, and then, oh, okay, there. And then I'm starting to read it now. We got a new fan. We are always hurting for fans. It doesn't hurt to have new ones added.
Right.
Yeah. And I just peeked through the first couple of pages of the Roadblock issue, and, I'm seeing Ice Vipers and Cobra Wolves and Ice Sabers. And so, I mean, that's a win in my book. I always love seeing some of those more obscure vehicles that are included in more obscure characters that are woven into some of these stories. So I think that's a great start on that Roadblock side.
Right. Anytime they get outside of that bubble, like popular culture, when it decides to embrace G.I. Joe, it kind of settles in on that 84 to 86 window. The Sunbow window, if you will. So anytime they get out of that and give us guys who are really old or newer, relatively speaking, I'm pretty thrilled. So I look forward to going through all that. And Gary, I have to admit that I was always in that camp with you, but having tried the Energon Universe books, I got to say I've been pleasantly surprised. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. I can't deny that. I'm not going to defend it, but the G.I. Joe books in particular, and I think mostly because they haven't had as much to do with the robots as of yet. I have a feeling that there'll be some big brawls coming, but I think they're going to mostly remain separate and just have some common story elements to them. Right?
Yeah.
Like I don't think the Joe team is going to be fighting Rumble and Frenzy on any given week. I think it's more that Energon is a thing in both books and Cybertron is a thing in both books, and the events of one book may shape the events in the other book, but I don't think they're going to cross the streams too much. Mm. But anyways, not a sales pitch, just my observations from somebody with closer to your perspective going in.
Yeah, and I think, the appetite is out there. Clearly with the Kickstarter and the big, huge box set compendium that Skybound put together, there's obviously a huge demand out there for quality G.I. Joe stories, both from the old Marvel run and I think going forward. So I think I've been extremely impressed on how Skybound has handled this whole relaunch in all ways. From the kind of original story, I really love how they kind of kept the whole thing secret and then kind of surprised everybody with Void Rivals, and that sort of spawned some real interest in it, and then kicked off, the separate, the Duke miniseries, the Cobra Commander miniseries, which all kind of wrapped up into the overall G.I. Joe series and made them all feel really tightly woven together. And then to complement that with Real American Hero and doing what Larry has done really, really well for a very long time, I think they're really hitting all the right buttons and pleasing, the broad audience. So, and I'll be honest, it's not as easy to do these silent issues as people might think. Larry Hama obviously changed the way stories are told back with, the original issue number 21, and it's not. It can be tricky. And from what I've seen so far, they've been doing a really good job with these latest silent issues, mirroring that style and making it not feel hokey, making the story work within the realm of kind of that no dialogue and, letting the action kind of tell the story. So, yeah, I think they're doing great. They're doing great. I'm really excited to see where things go.
Zaybot CGC asks, any tips on how someone can catch up with the Real American Hero series if they've not read it but are interested? Well, they're put out that big compendium of the first 50 issues in recent times. That'll set you back about $65, but it's cheaper than tracking down individual issues. I'll tell you that. that's a good place to start.
And if you're looking for just the what Skybound's done on the Real American Hero run, the trades should be pretty readily available for these. So.
Right. Issue 301 is a decent jumping on point if you haven't been in to this point. It'll at least whet your appetite until you can go and read old issues. But also this week, Energon Universe G.I. Joe 6 is out. The wrap up for the first story arc of the G.I. Joe title. And you see Duke and Cobra Commander fighting on the cover there, and there's flames all about, and that seems logical considering where the issue 5 led us to at the very end. Here too, I'm touching the cover right now. Haven't read it yet, so shut up, all of you.
I did read this one, but I won't spoil it for you, Mike.
Yeah.
I will appear in a puff of smoke in Vermont, and I will punch you in the nose.
You got to get by the Sentry Bears.
I'll just have a backpack full of meat, just throwing steaks where necessary. Anyways, Joshua Williamson, Tom Riley, Jordy Belair, your tried and true creative team for G.I. Joe 6. I look forward to Cobra Commander's win and claim of total victory.
Absolutely.
That's probably going to happen, right?
Told you I wouldn't spoil it, Mike.
All right. They've already solicited number 7. It's got the completely different team. So that's anyways. Justin, I know I went at length about Energon a couple minutes ago. What are your general feelings?
I love it. I mean, I really like they're pulling from a bunch of different continuities in some ways. I mean, obviously with Cobra Law being sort of the genesis behind it and kind of weaving Transformers in here and there. They've managed to boil it down to a pretty, basic premise and take 40 years of history and kind of do different things with it. What they're doing with Mercer and kind of having them start as a Cobra Viper, and who knows what might happen there. I mean, it's, we all know what Mercer was like in Real American Hero, and it's very cool to kind of see how they might mirror some of that. I do like some of the different things they're doing. I did see in the chat that somebody was sort of complaining about Baroness being a Joe. I kind of like that twist. It'd be interesting to see how how they tweak that and how that continues going forward. I think using Chameleon sort of as a villain who was kind of famously a Baroness repaint back in the day and then used pretty effectively in IDW, and kind of seeing what Skybound's now doing with it too. There's a lot of fun stuff with this G.I. Joe series, and I really enjoy each and every issue that I get of it.
Right. But young Godso, Katie Godso in the house. Welcome, Katie Godso. We expect you here every week now.
Yep, there you go.
You should be clicking the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, all I'm saying is I see 52 people watching right now, and only 27 have clicked the thumbs up button. So that is not cool. That is not correct. You people need to. Now we got 32. Okay, so a little bit more.
I was going to exclusively blame your daughter for that, Gary. So it's good.
And everyone, you need to click the thumbs. Help these guys out. If you're not subscribing to the channel, the least you can do is give them a thumbs up.
Right?
Yeah.
And honestly, if you're clicking the button to like the video, you might as well subscribe.
It's free.
You've already watched this far in. The algorithm is going to suggest us to you for the rest of your natural life. So you might as well just subscribe and make it official.
Poor souls.
Right? Right. Our poorly constructed thumbnails and long-winded explanations will be in your inbox forevermore. Next news item. Oh, wait, we got some Skybound bits. I forgot about that.
Oh, okay.
Next week, also the Transformers Deluxe hardcover #1. That's collecting the first story from the Transformers title in a nice hardcover tome. Void Rivals 18 is also next week. And then on May 6th, there's some stuff. I don't know if there's actually any stuff. I didn't get back to it.
The bar's set awfully low here. You need to define what stuff is, or
we're gonna do a show next week, so I'll tell everybody that.
Okay, all right.
It's our classic cliffhanger there, Gary. Come on, it's a plot device.
Okay, tune in next week, part 2.
Same Joe time, same Joe channel.
Now it's next news item,
and now you know.
And knowing is half the cheesecake. I mean, battle. Hey, starting today, the What's on Joe Mind swag shop on TeePublic having another big sale. That's running through the 27th. You can save 35% on tees and enjoy deep discounts on everything site-wise. Sweatshirts, mugs, magnets, stickers, ball caps, pins, pillows. They'll put our logo on a pillow. You get tote bags. You get all kinds of stuff. Gunny says cake. No, they don't have cake on TeePublic. No, cake is something that pretty well exclusively that's you.
Hey, time out. Can you highlight Torpedo 83 there, college age Katie?
That's Torpedo Mike.
Yeah. Okay, so if you want to feel even old, everybody. You want to feel even old, everybody. She's engaged to be married.
The poor fool.
The poor fool.
He has not been vetted by the Joe crew yet.
Oh, man.
No.
But if you want to feel more old, yes, she is engaged. She does have. He was smart enough to put a ring on it, and so that's where his smart stopped. I'm still a father.
Right. I mean, he has managed to stay away whenever any of the rest of us were around. So
I was in college once. And Justin knows what I'm talking about. Justin knows what I'm talking about, right? Don't you, Justin?
I know what you're talking about.
And your daughter's way farther away than my daughter is.
Yeah.
So you got to be blocking out a lot of things running through your head in the middle of the night, right?
Yeah, she's a sophomore, and she's about 8 hours away from me. So, yeah, it's, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And she's way more out. And I met her once. She's way more outgoing than Justin. So she's a socialite out there.
She got all the extrovertedness in the family. Yeah, it all got funneled right into her. And the rest of us are like,
now none of us have ever met Justin's wife, but I'm assuming this is what his wife is like.
She's got some extrovert in her. Yeah, she's got a little extrovert in her.
Yeah. And we already know Justin outkicked his coverage there.
Right.
No doubt.
As it is, we all those years ago, we did get details on Hit and Run Night.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
How do you forget that?
I don't know.
Yeah. Named Hit and Run Night.
Andrew Galgan, what's on Joe Mind the T-shirt? What's on Joe Mind the coffee mug? What's on Joe Mind the flamethrower?
The kids love it.
The kids love it.
What's on Joe Mind be with you? Adorable.
Get a T-shirt, everybody. Get a T-shirt.
Superhead Collectibles. Welcome back, man. It's been a while since we've seen you.
Yeah.
I bought a members only jacket to put the What's on Joe Mind logo on it. Just got to get around to. Well, it ain't gonna sew itself on there.
It's either that or an Izod jacket or maybe even a starter's jacket.
Ooh, starter jacket.
Remember starter jackets from the 90s?
That would mean I'd have to put together a What's on Joe Mind fantasy football logo.
Oh,
that would go on the starter.
It would need to be in all teal colors, because I just remember that I worked at a Finish Line back in the 90s. The Finish Line's like it should be a national brand now, but I don't know how many people go to malls anymore. I don't, but anyways. It's like what's the other shoe store that they all wear the referee outfits?
Foot Locker.
Foot Locker, yeah. So it's like a competitor to that. But we sold a ton of those, and I just remember selling the early Charlotte Hornets, teal and purple crap all the time.
Some Larry Johnson merch.
Your daughter is showing her valor. She's trying to defend her boyfriend there. You at least ask for. I'm sorry, her fiance. the boy at least asked for permission. I guess that's a point.
Yeah, there's a whole story to that one too. So we won't do it here on the air.
It's always good when Godso kind of tails off in a mumble like that. You know, you got a good one.
He made the right move by asking me and Deb at the same time. If he asked us separately, it would have been a little bit different.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, what do you mean? I told him yes. Wham, and I'm like, okay.
Cobra Emperor 6, etc., etc. This is the first live stream I could finally chat after watching all those years. I finally downloaded the app. Well, I mean, took you long enough, man. It's 20 years of YouTube this month. Come on, get on board. But thank you. We appreciate that. And isn't it fun? Joel McMullen, Crocodile
Yes.
Joel asking, has Gary shown
yes.
the fiance his gun collection yet?
Yes. And that's all guns. That's not just the ones but these two right here. So, and he wants to go to the range and go shooting sometime. Now, the problem with that, it's incredibly expensive, especially since the pandemic. If you own any firearms,
right,
that's why I don't have any Joes now, or I buy a lot of Joes. You have all these other firearms and you go out and buy ammo. That's not exactly cheap. And you go squeeze off 3 rounds of it at the range, and a trip to the range can easily turn into $100, $150. That's just going to the range for an hour, just having fun.
That's like buying eggs.
Yeah, I mean that's I want an omelet, so there's a problem. But no, he is not scared by the guns at all.
Nerf darts is cheap.
The only thing I think would scare him off is probably Joe. If we take him to a Joe convention, we sick Joe Colton on him.
Oh my!
The only thing
that
might scare him off.
Oh my God, she'll kill. They won't find the body.
She knows people.
No, she knows things. Yeah.
Jake Rose, my son-in-law, asked to date my daughter after he'd started fading. And the same with getting engaged. Both times he came upstairs to ask me while I was in bed. I had both conversations in a G.I. Joe t-shirt and boxers.
Well, at least you were comfortable.
Yeah.
Right? At least you got a thing. Diana Davis, when Dad found out Cullen brewed beer, he sprinted me down the aisle.
Oh, man.
Well, priorities.
I would too.
Well done. Well done.
Come on, it's almost Oktoberfest. Come on. Hurry up, Padre. Get to the I-do's.
Oh. Oh. Andrew Galgan, maybe Joe's mellowed from being a mom. Maybe Joe has a toddler and doesn't have any patience left. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I was gonna say, being a mom doesn't usually mellow you out a whole lot.
No.
Yes.
No, it just whatever maternal instincts she had towards Katie before, they're far greater now, because now she's had practice honing them to a fine point. Holy, are you kidding me?
Those shows that Katie was dressed up in cosplay and she's all shadowing Katie and Ace Allgood's daughter about keeping the really dirty Joe fans from looking at her. Right. Dude, she's only 14. Easy, back off.
Hey,
settle.
Yeah.
There was
now she can drink.
Now she can drink.
Oh God.
Hey, you saw it in January.
I know, and I still said, "Oh God."
You saw her and her mom have the same taste in girl drinks.
What was the first thing she said to us when she saw us was, "Hey, I'm engaged," and I immediately just like, "And I'm 30 years older." My back hurts.
It's true. He immediately grew like 1.5 foot long white beard.
I was like, ugh. Like that one Tom and Jerry cartoon where you just go, ugh.
Well, it's not you paying for a wedding, so
yeah.
Another reason why we're not really sorry.
Whatever.
No, she's not. No, she's not. No, she's not.
She is not in the least. But anyways, next news item. Oh dear God. While you're at the swag shop, check out the new design, the special minimalist 14th anniversary GI Joe or What's on Joe Mind t-shirt.
Maverick would be proud.
Right? You got the F-14 silhouette there with the 14 on it and the What's on Joe Mind logo. Can you beat that?
Have you seen, speaking of that, have you seen the, what is it, a Hot Wheels die-cast of the Sky Striker?
Why, yes, Gary. We did cover that on the program.
I'm sure you did. I saw that. I got to get me one of those. That's right in my price range now.
There you go.
Was it good? $7?
I think it was $7 if you got it in the case. So I would expect it to retail for $9 or $10.
Yeah. Now, this is how late Gary is to the show. Hey, did you just hear about that? Yeah, we've covered that 6 episodes ago.
Yeah,
I've been forgetting to look.
Yeah. Late 2023. Uh-oh, Debbie Godso checking in, and the Joe collection gets sold for a wedding.
Uh-oh.
That might be a real thing.
Oh. All right. Well,
I have 4 Wave 14 figures that are very rare that might actually pay for the reception.
Well, those I wouldn't feel bad about letting go, because they just sit there on the card. You might as well get rich on somebody else being foolish with those. I mean, you're lucky enough to have a flag with, loose and figures on it that you can mess around with whenever you want. That would be tough to walk back from.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of somebody who's never had space for anything like that, I don't even have space for like a Terradrome. So, I mean, a flag, my God.
Well, you could save a lot of space if you wore that Terradrome on your head.
That's true. That's true. My head is big enough to support that Terradrome, but I don't know if my back is strong enough to support that Terradrome. So make sure that Debbie is liked and subscribed. That's all I'm saying. That's important. Debbie.
Hey, you scroll down a little bit more. We may be able to get you a good rate on a caterer. So
I will do.
There we go. The Gunny checking in with you hire that man to make your cake. That man's a Marine. That man's a Marine trained baker. And that doesn't sound appetizing at all, but he made us a cake last year at Joe Fest, and it was incredible. It was a hummingbird cake. Look that up.
Nice. Okay.
We had all the Georgia people for work at the hotel come into our table saying, "Is this the spot with the hummingbird cake?" and we'd be like, "Well, yeah, here you go. Here, have some." And they would look at it. This is better than they make at the professional place across the street. Okay. All right. Debbie has liked the stream. Have you subscribed to the channel, Debbie? That's important too. Keep up with the clicks here.
Say subscribe. It should light up on our phone.
Right. It's time to subscribe. Because subscribe lights up our phone. Subscribe. Gary, have you subscribed?
Yes.
You're supposed to say, yes, I've subscribed.
Yes, I subscribe.
There you go. There you go. Gunny will cater for Joe's.
There you go.
So be sure to check us out at the swag shop. The link to the swag shop is down below with all of the other cool links in the description box. All of our social media, that like and the subscribe button are kind of around that neighborhood. Just click all the things. Go click all the things. And buy yourself a cool new t-shirt, Matt Rubin, while it's still on sale at the swag shop.
Did you get Katie's last comment on there?
No.
Maybe just Joe Con without the crazies. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say Joe Con without the crazies. Isn't that BotCon?
I'm about to say your dad was friends with a lot of the crazies, so I don't think you understand where the lines are drawn on that.
Depends if we invite Justin or not. Then
the kids never know. They don't know these things. Anyways, next news item. Hey, remember, also down below, we've got a link to Jamie Sullivan's GoFundMe. Jamie is well-known as a G.I. Joe cover artist and fan artist. He is got his GoFundMe going. They are very close to being able to afford the surgery to save his foot. So if you got a couple of bucks laying around after all this shenanigans we've already told you to spend money on, even if it's just a couple of dollars, be sure to send it Jamie's way. Every little bit helps. Yeah, again, the link is down below, so be sure to check that out. And again, give what you can. It's very much appreciated. They've stalled out a little bit, and that's very frustrating when you're close to the goal that you're trying to meet. So please, even if you don't have a couple of bucks laying around, spread this around your social media. Get this in front of as many gratuitous G.I. Joe fans as you can. Share it in your Facebook groups. Put it on your Twitter feed. Do whatever you can just to help the word get out and help Jamie climb that hill. $1, $2, $5, $10 at a time.
Healthcare is no joke.
Right. It says something that GoFundMe is the third largest insurer, medical insurer in the U.S. right now. And that's as far on that soapbox as I'll get tonight. But let's put them to work. Let's make them count lots of dollars. And click down below, help out our pal, your friend and mine, Jamie Sullivan, a renowned G.I. Joe artist. Hooters Garage. Subscribe and hit that like button like it owes you money. All right.
You got my money? You got my money? Like Stewie.
Next news item.
Money for fake mustaches.
Next news item. Hey, remember if all kinds of pre-production leaked photos getting out there, you got one place to go that'll show you all of them. Head up the surveillance port, surveillance-port.com. I don't know if he knows we're plugging him in the middle of the program like this. He usually shows up at the beginning and then we don't see him again.
Yeah.
But whatever. Whatever, Eric. Whatever. Anyways, for all of your pre-production needs, if you just got to see it before it hits the shelves, surveillanceport.com.
I prefer coastaldefender.com.
You're the only one.
Yeah.
They give me everything I need. Just a box.
Box, missiles, trailer hitch.
Yeah.
Right next to buzzbore.com.
Roadtoad.com is my
Packrat.com with the joystick.
Ooh. There we go. And of course, brings us to the end of the news. G.I. Joe 3D Printing Podcast, happy to bring you Chunky Tank Kitty and his Meowler Tank. They are active on most Sundays. We've got their channel linked up on our channel page down below. You could get to it right from there. They do a show, again, most every Sunday, all about the world of G.I. Joe 3D printing. Mike and Mark and Archwan, all geniuses in the field. If you want to get started, you want to see their projects, great place to go. The G.I. Joe 3D Printing Podcast. Sorry, I was reading some live chat, trying to stay caught up. It's a lot of work hitting all these buttons, man. It's a lot of work.
Get to work, Jetson.
So what do you say?
And now a word from our sponsor.
Hey, that's a new one.
It is. Torpedo Mike sent us some stuff. That's Torpedo's Mike's daughter getting big and making us feel old.
And wait till she gets engaged.
Right? But now a word from our friends at Kokomo Toys.
We buy, sell, and trade vintage and modern toys. G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, Marvel, DC, and more. Located in beautiful downtown Kokomo, Indiana, we are open every Wednesday through Saturday from 12 to 5. It's a theme park of nostalgia. Join the thousands of people who have traveled from all over the Midwest for over a decade to buy and sell with us. Get your geek on.
And now back to what's on Joe's mind.
See the buttons, they almost seamless. Almost seamless. So we recorded
downtown Kokomo.
Right?
Like beautiful downtown Muncie.
Problem is Muncie doesn't have a Kokomo Toys.
No.
I mean, that gives Kokomo a decided edge.
Yeah. And there's a comic book store next to that.
Right. And like, it's not even the Kokomo Toys where I gave myself a concussion by hitting my head on a shelf. It's the big store. Anyways.
He still blames the shelf, by the way.
Look, I'm not blaming the shelf that I hit it. I mean, I clearly was not paying attention, but that was a hard shelf. That was tough.
Solid.
Yeah.
And the shelf was solid too.
Quality workmanship.
Anyways, yeah, I'm only half joking about that concussion. It may have happened that day. Anyways, one more from Torpedo Mike's family as he put them to work this week.
Happy 14th anniversary, what's on Joe mine?
And happy 20th anniversary, Mom and Dad.
Come back!
That was beautiful.
Well, the important one was their mom and dad, but happy anniversary there.
Right. And I mean, look, if Torpedo Mike has clearly learned from us, plug the damn marriage. That's the hashtag there. Whatever if you're going to use the damn show to plug the damn marriage, but yes, you do it then. And apparently we finally broke his daughter because she turned Cobra.
Yeah, there you go.
She's done with us. She's gone to the dark side.
Well, I mean, she's always had that his tank.
Yeah, true.
The signs were there.
Always. So we're getting into the free and open part of the program. As I give myself another concussion trying to hit buttons. Here we go. Anyways,
your finger, not your forehead.
For those wondering at home, missing the game tonight in Super Bowl 42, the Giants have won over the Patriots 17-14. And in Super Bowl 46, the Giants have won 21-17 over a similar Patriots squad. Just for everybody. Right. For everybody who is wondering about the outcomes of those, 7 and 12-year-old games.
I was not wondering.
We know you weren't.
They take those losses there in New England with 6 titles. They take all those couple of losses so personally.
That's what makes it all the more delicious.
It's like chocolate in my mouth all the time.
But I got a friend who I have a friend who's a Red Sox fan, and he'll throw the 2004 up there, and all I have to say is Bucky effing Dent, and he just goes on another rant.
Yeah, we got him later.
Like the World Series never happened.
We got ours later.
I mean, you're talking about we got ours. I mean, I seem to remember you being in the thumbnail with a Yankees cap on, Gary. So
no, that's because Patriots fans were awful, and I decided to boycott anything that came out of New England, even the Red Sox, who had a crap season that season. No, to no one's surprise, really. If you're going to have crap fans, you're going to have a crap season. So we went to the dark side for a year.
Gary,
protest.
Making friends wherever
that's
he goes.
Every time you put me on this show, that is the only screenshot or only headshot you use of me is that one. Correct. Never anything else. Never something from else from Joe Con or anything like that.
No.
It's always that one with my stupid finger pointing to that stupid at. Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you that was the case. I told you it was going to happen, and you said take the picture anyway. So there we go. 30 years from now, you're going to be in some project that I put together, and I'm going to use that old-ass picture. Like, is that Gary Godso as a young man? Yes, it is.
I don't doubt it. I can't grow the gray beard like Justin does. I did. I tried, and I had the walrus type tusks. It came gray all down through here. Yeah. I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. That was a pandemic experiment because we didn't have to go out anywhere. So I decided to see what it would look like.
Looking like an aging mad Hungarian.
It was actually, I could, if I actually lost a lot of weight and I got red hair up here, my beard actually comes in red. I could have pulled off snow job. Probably. I probably could have, because it was a red beard. But after a while, it you know, and I'm not using Just for Men like Justin does. So
I don't. How am I using Just for Men? I mean,
Just for Men scalp wax?
I just use it right here. It's the only place I use my Just for Men. It's just to darken the stash a little bit.
Can't have the gray nose hairs coming out.
No, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that is unsightly. You gotta trim those out.
David Warren Hernandez wants to know: does Gary still have the Camaro?
Yeah, and since the since the pandemic, it doesn't get driven an awful lot. I've maybe put since what was it, 2020? I was getting in the neighborhood of like 52,000 miles on it, and it was a 2017. So because I had to work downtown Indianapolis, so it was a 45-minute drive there and back.
Right.
And I was really putting the miles on that thing, and I actually have to go out every once a week and start it just so the battery and everything doesn't run down on it. I don't take it anywhere, but I go out and start it about once a week, but I still have it.
Right. Well, I mean, it's make sure the tires don't bubble on one side.
Right.
Keep the fuel from breaking down.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you don't want to be driving downtown anyway. Speaking of somebody who had to do that,
I can't let my house turn into my my grandparents' yard. Justin might know what I'm talking about with that one. I'm not sure. He did some drives through Bellows Falls, my grandparents had quite a bit of hardware out in their yard, so we're not doing that.
Was it on blocks?
Having driven downtown,
yes, I'm sure it was on blocks. There was some stuff on blocks there.
Having driven downtown Indianapolis this week, you don't want to take a sports car down there at all, because there are many canyons in which to traverse, and you need a 4-wheel drive vehicle.
You need
the potholes. Yeah, well, you know, the potholes are so deep around here. I remember walking into work one time, and there was a big pothole lining the road. And I looked down at it, and I saw Bill Belichick down in hell. That's how deep the pothole was.
Not yet. He's in North Carolina. He's one step closer.
Not to say he's not in hell. He's in Chapel Hill. Wait, no, that's the same thing.
Give him time. Give him time.
That's the same thing. Oh goodness. David Warren.
We hate Bill Belichick around here too now, Gary. It's okay.
We need to bring back Ladies' Night on What's on Joe Mind. Make it happen. I mean, we would. If we're gonna do Ladies' Night again, I gotta have the co-hostess with the co-mostess, Joe Colton, and her schedule is restrictive. So if it happens, it will be the confluence of many random events coming together. Otherwise, you're gonna have to deal with at least one of us dudes hanging around messing it up.
We need the original cast.
I mean, that would be great, but
either that, or really would be reduced to, like, having to dig Stinky out of Brooklyn.
She ain't gonna want to talk about this crap for 2 hours.
I know, that's the problem.
So, gentlemen, why don't we talk for the folks that didn't go back and do their homework for this week? Why don't we talk about what you've done since you've departed What's on Joe Mind on a weekly basis and into the host emeritus status?
Justin.
Right. Justin has, life accomplishments to talk about. Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and kick it off, Justin?
Oh man. Well, I lose track of how long it's been since I've been on the show. It's been a long time. Yeah, I mean, it's I credit G.I. Joe with sort of starting me down a path towards what was once a side hustle, but has sort of become a second occupation of being a published author. First book I ever published was a G.I. Joe story that I wrote for Kindle Worlds, which was an authorized Amazon imprint of pseudo fan fiction kind of stuff where you could write in other people's universes. And so I published a G.I. Joe novel. and that kind of convinced me that maybe I could write a little more, and kept writing, and have really never stopped. That was around, I think, 2012, 2014 or something like that. And ended up signing on with a post-apocalyptic fiction publisher in 2017, and have been writing ever since. Written and published over 100 novels at this point. So yeah, I mean, that's been consuming a lot of my time. I still have a full-time day job at the local hospital here, running their IT infrastructure. So keeps me pretty busy, and getting up bright and early every morning, writing for a few hours, going to work. Well, going to work means usually sitting here. I do go into the office 1 or 2 days a week, but so yeah, I mean, that's really consumed. When I haven't been spending time with my family and doing stuff like that, I've been writing books and working, and supplying my plastic crack habit as much as I can. Dialed that back a little bit, but I'm still pretty much all in on classified. I get most of everything that comes out, but yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of writing and a lot of working, and having fun with it, but keeps me very busy. So yeah, I mean, it's sort of impacted my ability to be as involved in the community as I would like to be. And at one point I was still updating General's Joe's frequently as classified figures were released, and kind of keeping up to date a little action figure database there, but that's sort of fallen by the wayside as well. So yeah, I think most of my non-work, non-family time right now is spent writing books. And yeah, I see Jake in the chat mentioning Duck Duck Goose. That was a thriller series that I wrote quite some time ago, and I've got a few books in the can for that now. I think they've actually been unpublished from Amazon at this point. I've got to somehow get those back up and rolling again. But yeah, so I mean, that's really what my life has been consumed by for the past 8 years or so, is just writing lots and lots and lots of books, selling quite a few of them, making some decent money, having fun with it. So it's been good.
And I like to think that hosting What's on Joe Mind helped you truly envision a post-apocalyptic future.
Nah, it just helped him get out of his shell.
One of my favorite series that I wrote, I think it was the third series I wrote, which I unashamedly ripped from the G.I. Joe Retaliation headlines. It's about a network of orbital satellites with the railguns that go down to Earth, and they get hacked by a virus, and it launches all these projectiles that sort of pummel the Earth with those big metal rods, and that was sort of the genesis of the apocalypse. And I do not shy away from the fact that was a Retaliation inspired sort of story. So yeah, G.I. Joe, there's influences there. I mean, I feature military characters in pretty much every novel I do. I really credit Larry Hama's storytelling over my formative years for sort of helping me develop that desire to tell fiction and try to weave some realism into the fantasy a little bit. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be where I am right now if not for G.I. Joe. So I owe it a lot.
He's borrowed our likenesses before.
You guys are featured in not one of my post-apocalyptic novels, but in my first trilogy that I ever wrote of my own stuff, the Operation Harvest trilogy. Yeah, I have an Irizarry in there. I have a Godso in there. There's all sorts of characters in there that names people might recognize.
And he didn't kill us off.
I did. No.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah. Room for sequels.
Right.
There you go.
Right. They haven't been on the shelf that long that he can't go back.
We saw what happened to Duke, so
he in a coma.
The good news is, with all that tungsten raining down on the planet, it will be easier to reinvent the light bulb. So.
Oh yeah, it's a good thought.
So Gary, it's been a little bit more recently since we've talked to you. I think didn't we have you on the 13th anniversary Arbor Day Spectacular?
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
A minute ago. So for the folks that are kind of new since then, why don't you refresh as far as what you've been doing?
As you see my background, and if you've listened to the podcast for as long as many of you say you have, you know that I'm from the Indianapolis area. Of course, we did a whole group of podcasts when the JoeCon unfortunately came to Indianapolis. had to cut short my vacation. So the rest of you guys can take vacations.
That's right.
But anyways, and of course, the other thing known for big in Indianapolis is the Indianapolis 500 every May, Memorial Day weekend. The largest sporting event on the planet takes place here in my fair city. And so I've kind of grown up around IndyCar racing and Indianapolis 500 even before G.I. Joe. If there's two things that are in my wheelhouse for things that I seem to retain a lot of information about, to the chagrin of my wife that I don't remember enough of our own conversations, is IndyCar racing for some reason and G.I. Joe. Those are the two things that I seem to retain an awful lot of memory cells for. And after I kind of got out of the hobby of G.I. Joe and we were in the pandemic, we saw NBC were doing, and that's where IndyCar was on the time. They were doing some races on iRacing, and they were broadcasting them. And I was, sitting there going, I remember doing sim racing back in the 90s on my, an MS-DOS computer. And I ended up getting iRacing again.
You're old.
Yep. Oh yeah, I am definitely old. When you see those pictures of the beige MS-DOS computers and people say, I am that old, I am that old. And
I'm there with
older.
you. I'm there with you.
So I got into iRacing, and there are people that stream the races. I got in the chat one time with one of the races, and he was not an IndyCar fan or IndyCar guy, but he was broadcasting races. So I was kind of feeding him some info in chat, and then he hits me up and says, why don't you be on my next broadcast? So I came on the next broadcast as kind of his driver expert. That seems very weird to say, but I've never driven an Indy car in my entire life, but
Camaro,
whether it be the sim, but and I started doing these broadcast streams, and being the driver expert leads to producing and doing your own streams, and you being the play-by-play guy. So if you watched IndyCar racing back in the 80s, you might remember Paul Page and Bobby Unser doing races on ABC. Now it's it's Townsend Bell and Hinchcliffe in the booth on Fox now. But you might see those names, and you might have caught a race, and that's kind of what I do on my free time. Is there's millions of users that subscribe to iRacing, and a good portion of those are people that like to drive the IndyCar. The IndyCar is available on iRacing, and we put together a channel called P1 Broadcasting. P1 stands for Position 1, the winner of the race. And that's what we built our name off of. And we on a almost nightly basis, whether it's myself or the partner I work with, we broadcast here on YouTube. In fact, I'll go ahead and put it in chat here. Here's our channel. Please subscribe, because we are, I think, about 30 or 40 people away from cracking 1,000. And we just launched the channel about a year ago this time. So that's pretty good for a channel that's very niche-y. So check it out. But just about every night.
We understand.
Just about every night we have something going on. Actually, this is one of the rare nights I don't have something going on. And he said, hey, you want to do something on a Wednesday? And I said, sure, I'm not doing any broadcasting. So here I am. But if you enjoy watching auto racing, whether it be NASCAR or IndyCar, and you like that production style and the same type of graphics and everything, check us out. Our signature broadcast used to kind of go hand in hand with your video streams. We used to do a Tuesday night at 8:15 p.m. Eastern time. And that's the IndyCar Oval Series on iRacing, their top split. So the best IndyCar Oval drivers of the service that sign up for those races, we're broadcasting them on Tuesday nights, and that's our signature broadcast. But we have leagues that run Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, and Friday nights. We have a NASCAR league that my friend broadcasts, and my partner that he does the play-by-play for. On Saturdays and Sundays, we'll be doing the iRacing IndyCar series, which mirrors the real NTT IndyCar series schedule. And that's some of the best road racers in the world that are on the sim participate in that. And we broadcast that on Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern on weeks that there's an IndyCar race. But check us out. That is what I do. And I do an awful lot of it. So just as much as my hobby was back in the day, I've kind of wrapped it and funneled it into doing this now. and check us out. And you could also check me out on Twitter, X, at Gary Godso. I'm still on Facebook. And we have at P1 Broadcasting on X, at P1 Broadcasting on Insta. So we're all over the place. All of our stuff's on Linktree, so you just go to one spot there, and you can find everything you want. But P1 Broadcasting on YouTube, and we do the weekly top split IndyCar races on Monday, Tuesday, and during the NTT IndyCar season race weeks on Saturdays. So we got a busy week. Later this year, we got a couple of big events coming up that I want to shout out real quick. We have in May, we have 2 weekends of May where the official iRacing IndyCar Open and Fixed 500s. The Fixed means everyone has the same setup. In the Open 500, people have setups they develop on themselves. So there's a Fixed and Open Indy 500s, which will be broadcasting their top splits in May. And then also starting in the 1st of June, we'll be actually promoting our very first race on the channel called the P1 600, which will be a 600-kilometer race at Michigan International Raceway with the Indy cars. That's going to be an invite only for the community, but there'll be some of the biggest names of sim racers in the IndyCar community. And then later this year, in December, my channel's been approached by the guys that own the Hoosier 500 race. And they have partnered up with PRI, which they have the big racing convention in Indianapolis in December that typically takes up the entire convention center and also Lucas Oil Stadium. They're sponsoring that race, and we will be broadcasting the PRI Hoosier 500 in December, and that should bring a lot of eyeballs to the channel as well. But that's kind of what I've done, and that's what I'm doing now. And it's not writing books, and I'm still very vocal to the chagrin of some people, but I'm still around. And if it wasn't for what's on Joe's mind, probably getting me used to talking behind a microphone, I probably wouldn't be doing this at all.
So how much do your racing fans hate it when you talk about fantasy football during the race?
When it briefly comes up, not many people, because you got to get on to the next thing that's going on. You know, even though it's virtual racing, IndyCars travel a virtual football field every couple of seconds, so you can't really get into, who's the saint of the saint of fantasy football league. Who was it again? I
mean, we had a couple. We had Bobby Wagner, of course.
Bobby Wagner, I think, was this saint that we talked about. Yeah,
still out there and kicking.
He doesn't come up very often in auto racing, though.
I mean, Bishop Sankey's not playing football, so maybe he's into racing.
No, no. And if anyone wants a G.I. Joe tie-in to all this, after Joe was deactivated, I think is what we want to call it. After the 90s, so issue 155, the team members went their separate ways, and one of the ways that Clutch went is he became a mechanic for an Indy Racing League team. And then during reinstatement, which was the Devil Do arc, he came back to the Joe team after doing a stint with an Indy Racing League team in the Indy Racing League. So there is a bit of a Joe tie into all that.
Not grasping at wild straws at all there.
No, just whatever's out there.
Went for a disowned piece of history.
Disavowed.
Yeah, one pouch man asking, do race fans hate it when you talk about classified releases?
I've been asked on broadcast before, what did you do or before you did this thing? And I always talked about how G.I. Joe was, my other wheelhouse item. And the number of people in chat that chime up, man, I collected G.I. Joe as a kid. And it kind of, as we're doing the race, you watch chat as it kind of strolls up the screen as people are divulging into G.I. Joe conversations while we're in the middle of a pretty exciting race. So it's kind of interesting sometimes when they'll ask these questions and then you find out how important some of these things that were to us in our youth are as important to some of these other people as well.
All right. Yeah, it really is. It's a small world. It's a much smaller world than we tend to give it credit for. Because I know that there's times when I'll be talking to somebody who is very much disconnected from this part of my life, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I had all those guys," and then they start like just rattling off minutia the same way that Rob does on a daily basis. And so it's funny. It's funny what folks are, they're really into the same thing you're into if you just ask. Anyways, we're getting close to the end. Let's bring it on into the station with the always popular shout outs. Justin Bell, again, we'll start with you as one of our guests this evening. Who are we shouting out to on this fine 14th anniversary Arbor Day spectacular?
Well, man, I got to shout it out to all the people like chiming in the chat. This is good stuff. I mean, it's been a long time since I've been here, and you see a lot of familiar names kind of scrolling by there. And, it's great to kind of feel the love that is obviously still there with this channel and this show and carrying on after all these years. It's really great. I want to shout out Diana Davis, especially on the chat here too, who's talking about, she made a comment about people having success doing what they love. And I know she's been pretty deeply involved in the G.I. Joe comics with Skybound these days too. So she certainly belongs in that arena as well, being successful, doing what she loves, as most of us hope we can at some point. So, yeah, I mean, it's great. I appreciate being invited back, and just shout out to all the people who've been sticking around and people who've been here since the beginning. It's great.
Yeah, there's a not small number of folks that like to bring up things that even I've forgotten about, and I've been stuck in the middle of this for the entire run. And just because they were there then, they were listening 11, 12, 13 years ago.
Absolutely.
But what else you got, Justin?
Well, you guys too. I mean, just keeping on, carrying on the What's on Joe Mind name. It's great. I'm glad it's continued on, and you guys are bringing it every week and keeping it strong. And no, it's great to be part of the show again and be talking Joe again. I don't do it as much as I used to, for sure. So I'm glad you guys are taking the name and moving it forward. So yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to say. Just gratitude for, I don't spend a lot of time in the hobby these days. I kind of coast along on social media here and there, and so I don't get in the weeds with what's going on with G.I. Joe, at least at the hobby level like I used to. And having an opportunity to spend a couple hours talking about it has been really nice. So I really do appreciate that.
And we'll play it one more time just because we have to.
Butthurt. It's a beautiful thing. And shout out
really
to Butthurt.
Gary Godso. Shout out.
No, first of all, Justin, great to see you again.
You too.
I get, I don't know if you guys get his emails too on his mailing list, and I'll go scrolling through and I get an email from Justin. Oh, it's spam.
Just telling us,
just for once, I like Justin to say, "Hey, Gary, what's going on? Hey, how you doing?" It's like, "Hey, get my book." It's like, oh,
I'm terrible. I'm terrible.
Buy my effing book, Gary.
Shameless shill. He has never changed. No, but it's great to see you again.
Yeah, you too,
I'm glad to hear the fam's doing so well. Someone's got to keep the lights on in the Bellows Falls area. Might as well be you. So, Mike and Rob, of course, keeping this thing going. Everybody at home. It just amazes me that I don't pay attention to this stuff as much as I should and did in the past. But when I do, there's always someone saying, some old joke, running gag that we started now a decade and a half ago. And mentioning something about that, or I was listening to when Justin said something back then, and I paid attention to, I always listened to all his stuff and watched his stuff on General Joe's. There's all these people that just remember this stuff and have stuck with us for now 14 years. Thank you very much. And above all, my wife and my daughter, who kind of put up with me dragging them to these shows and then doing these after hours and not spending a lot of time with them when I was editing and stuff. But again, shout out to them. They're an important part of my life, and wouldn't be doing any of this really without any of them at all. But that's it. Just everybody at home, be good to one another. Continue to like, sharing, and subscribing. Do the good thing for the guys here on the channel. They put an awful lot of hard work into this. I've noticed since I've left and Justin's left, that there's a lot of other Joe people coming into the video podcast space, and there's nothing wrong with that. Competition is good, and getting more people to make things viral is a good thing. But I always say that what's on Joe Mind is often imitated, but never duplicated. And these guys have done a good job at keeping the vibe and everything that we grew with the organic history of the show over time, and continuing to make it a part of the show. When we could sit here, and then you guys, of course, I don't know how you guys at home remember all the running jokes, but you guys are awesome. Just amazingly awesome. And shout outs to everybody at Hasbro that watched this thing. Shout out to everyone that's been part of the show. Thank you very much. And, again, thanks for having me. And it's good to be here. And hopefully we're here for 15 and 16 and 17, and we get to 20. And who knows what we're doing at that point, because then we're all getting really old.
Right. Really old. We're not already really old.
But thank you, everybody. Thank you. Right here.
You're only moderately old. I like this cast because I'm the youngest. Ragtime Rob.
Well, I mean, first, a shout out to our 2 distinguished alumni for coming on. I mean,
who?
It's kind of great, just carrying the banner for what you guys did, and I won't even do it half as well. So, but thanks for coming on, guys.
Yeah, it's been good.
I mean, I mean, the one thing is, look what I'm saddled with, so it's, and of course to the viewers at home tonight, and those who will be viewing later, thank you very much. It's fun doing this for the crowd. So.
I will reiterate Ragtime Rob shouts. Thank you for the folks who are here in the live chat. We appreciate you. If you are catching us on replay, we love you just as much. But as Gary has said several times, aggressively over the course of the program, it is important that you do those cool YouTube things. Hit those buttons that are down below him where he's pointing right now. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Share us in your various social media circles, whether that's Facebook groups, or in your X handles, or your Blueskies, or your Discord servers, or Reddit, or whatever.
Your interwebs.
Right? The link is right there. Just copy and paste. If you got a couple of bucks laying around every month, we do have the coffee credit program. If you just $1 a month or more, that gets you into our closing credits. So that is there. The link for that is down below. Give a shout to our wonderful friends and sponsors at Kokomo Toys. We will sing the theme song one time with most of the original cast. Kokomo Toys. Kokomo Toys. I can't believe you guys forgot that. We did that when you guys were here.
Miserably.
I forgot the words.
Fair enough.
We still love Kokomo Toys, though.
Right. Usually guests are very shy about singing the Kokomo Toys theme song. But you guys, I'll just chalk it up to being geriatric, and you forgot.
That's fair.
But Torpedo Mike singing the gospel. Buy a new What's on Joe Mind shirt on sale this weekend. New design up on the page too, so be sure to check that out as well. Want to give a shout out to you guys, of course. Oh, wait, I'm hitting buttons. Appreciate you being here. I know it's a big chunk of time out of your week, but it's always good to have you back.
Thank you for the invite.
Good to be here. It's good to be here. Appreciate it.
Very good to be here. Yep.
Good to be remembered.
Somebody's got to.
I know.
You're not on the video part of the channel. You make us go to audio. I know nobody.
I have a face for audio. That's
Nobody wants to go to audio.
Audio's a dead medium. Who listens anymore?
Right. Clearly nobody. But what do you say we get out of here? We're hit that magic 2-hour mark. It's time to go. Gary, do you want to take us out? Do you want me to take us out?
Oh man,
you don't remember
it. You know what? Here, we'll do this here real quick. If it will come up here on my screen for me, it might not.
It might not.
That's the computer with the hamster wheel still has that saved. Huh?
Yeah, the vacuum tubes.
Let's see. You know what? I do an a outro every week on the every episode, and I basically said what I said. I should be remembering this, but right now Excel is giving me a very hard time. Hold on. Let's try this here. Hold on, I can't. Buy me some time, Mike. Buy me some time.
All right. I think you know what that means.
We got the music in the background. Hey, so for Mike Irizarry and for Racktime Rob, Justin Bell, I'm Gary Gazzo saying to all good night and thanks for watching, and all our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here next week at Legacy Charlotte for the next race of the Tuesday Night IndyCar Oval Series Top Split on P1. Good night, everybody.
And as our friend Vagon likes to say, stay safe, and if you can't, be careful. Be back next Wednesday night. Special guests will be Roger Taft and Greg Augustin on the next episode of What's on Joe Mind. We're going to talk after action report. Have a great rest of the week, everybody. And yo, Joe.
Good seeing you again.
I'm hitting button.